With land in urban areas becoming more and more scarce, it's so important you make use of all the space on your property. Now, I'm not just talking about front and rear gardens. I'm talking about pathways, utility areas, and underutilised nooks. You need to change your mindset, make the most of what you've got. You never know, you might have a little something on the side. Take this side path. It runs the full length of the house. It's great access and it leads to the back garden. It's currently about 24 square metres and that is a lot of wasted space. So I'm going to rethink this whole area and I'm going to create a new garden. I'm going to start by shifting the path off to the side. That way it's not going to go straight down the middle. On the skinny side, I'm going to put in a really nice screening hedge to get rid of the fence. On the larger side, well, we've got lots of room for planting, and halfway down, I'm going to put a bench seat so you can sit and enjoy the garden. And because it's all used for access, of course, I'm going to stick in some garden lighting. Well, now I've designed it, it's time to get to work. Thanks, Graham. It's so kind of you. The old pine edging and paving just didn't cut it, so we've got rid of them and I've actually dropped the level down. That means for our new pathway, the start and exit point won't be higher than the path itself. I've also put down a string line, which gives us an edge to lay to. It's off to the side, so we've got loads of room for planting next to the house. So I'm replacing a stepper path with a stepper path. Well, let me tell you what was wrong with the first one. It was right down the middle of the garden, which meant both garden beds were really quite small. It was old and it was dated as well. So I'm using this. This is a modern concrete paver. It's really hard wearing. It's got a nice contemporary colour to it. It's 400mm by 400mm, and by putting them side by side, it makes our path 800, which is really nice to walk down. I've also spaced them out 200mm apart. Oh, laser eyes is at it again. And what that does is it gives me space for gravel in between the two. I've got Shannon powering along with the path whilst I extend 3 of the sections out in this direction. It's going to give me a nice flat spot for a bench seat. Now, this is a lovely area, as you can tell. It's a really nice sun trap. You're going to be able to enjoy the planting. Once I've got this row done, I need to organise an electrician to get the power point for the lighting.
G'day, mate.
Hi, mate. How you going?
Good. Hayden.
Charlie.
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
I'm after a plug socket on the corner there.
Yeah.
I can set up my garden lighting off.
Yeah, too easy.
Perfect,
No
thanks.
worries, we'll get done.
For our hedging, I'm using the water hausia or weeping lily pilly. Now, I really like the lime green growth here. It adds a bit of light and it doesn't clutter the space up too much. Now, most hedging plants are either medium or large trees. What makes them a great hedging plant is how they react to pruning, and the water hausia is perfect when you prune it. It becomes more dense and it doesn't mind being kept nice and narrow, which is what we're after. What we want is height, so this is the perfect plant for us. Outside the window pane. The colour theme I'm going for in this garden bed is one of the lime green in the foliage, which I'm bringing out in some taller miscanthus here. This variety is called Gold Bar. It's going to get to about 1.5 metres, and then throughout autumn and into winter, put on a bit more height with the flower heads. But then I'm combining that with a real contrast with this Tiburtina, with its deep purple flowers. Now, this is a variety called Jules. It stays really small. I love Tiburtinas. You can get them in these small sizes all the way up to trees. And I think the purple and the yellow works really well together. To complement the Tiburtinas and really bolster that purple colour, I'm using this salvia called Amistad. Now, this is so easy to grow. It needs lots of sun to flower well. It'll flower all the way through autumn into early winter, and then come spring, what you need to do is just chop it down, leaving these new shoots coming out, and it'll just do it year after year. To add a little bit of texture to this planting scheme, I'm using Casuarina Cousin It to spill over onto the path, and then a bit of vertical accent in this Carex called Dusky Fountain. This bronze colour just seems to make the purple sing as well. As a feature, in the centre point of this new garden, I'm planting this lovely maple, and the variety is Sangu Kaku. It doesn't get invasive roots, so it's fine up against the house. It's not going to get too big either, but what it's going to give us is lovely vertical height and a canopy over the bench seat that's going in. The moment of truth. A perfect fit. Almost like I planned it. Almost. Garden lighting really doesn't have to be that difficult. All you need is an external plug socket. This one's really simple. It's just low voltage, even runs off Bluetooth as well. When it comes to garden lighting, you're trying to achieve two different effects. One, you want to light up your features, like this tree, and secondly, you want to add a sense of practicality. So I'm going to be lighting the path, but rather than having them all down one side, I'm going to alternate them so it washes light across the path. I'm putting two on this side, so it highlights all our planting, and then one as a crossover back up on the hedge. To finish off our path, I'm just filling in our spaces with some gravel, and what that does is it stops the path from being so directional, so you won't rush down it. You'll slow down and you'll get to enjoy the garden. And to finish off the garden beds, of course, a little bit of mulch. Well, we really haven't done much work here, but what a transformation. By simply moving the path, it's given us all this space for garden bed. We've also added some lighting and, of course, this lovely bench to sit down and take a look at the handiwork. But I don't think we could call this a wasted space anymore.